The term "made in Germany" has become synonymous with high quality and cutting-edge technology. Automobile brands known the world over, next-generation computer chips and 5G technology, life-saving pharmaceuticals, and a long history of high culture and influential philosophers. With a resume like that, one has to wonder, what are the secrets to Germany's success on the global stage? And does it have what it takes to hold on to that competitive advantage in the long run? One of the key factors often highlighted is the education system of Germany. The reasoning is pretty straightforward. The innovative and entrepreneurial spirit required to ensure industrial leadership in today's globally connected world demands a well-educated workforce. So let's take a look at the German education system, from kindergarten to university, to see what the Germans are doing right and what they could do better in the future. The German school system is divided into 5 stages, with university being the final step in the tertiary level. Before we get there, let's take a brief look at the previous 4 stages, starting with the so-called elementary stage. This primarily includes kindergarten and usually ends when the student reaches the age of 5. The focus here is on playtime and social skills, with little in the way of strictly structured lessons and materials. Perhaps the recognition of letters and numbers, but not much beyond that. This is followed by the primary education stage, and thus the beginning of compulsory education. The Grundschule, or elementary school, extends over a period of 4 years. During this time, the basics of learning, such as reading, writing, and arithmetic, are taught in groups of around 25 students. At the end of the 4th grade, the teacher makes a so-called transition recommendation based on the individual academic performance of each student. Ultimately, however, the parents decide which type of school their child will continue to attend the following year, and they have some choices to make. In the following stage of the German education system, which usually covers 6 years of instruction, there are officially 5 different types of schools. The 3 most relevant are Gymnasium, Realschule, and Hauptschule. While Gymnasium and Realschule have almost identical curricula, the teaching material at the Gymnasium is somewhat denser and more extensive than at the Realschule. In addition, a wider selection of subjects, such as Latin, are offered at the Gymnasium. The Hauptschule, on the other hand, is tailored for students looking to enter the workforce earlier and can be finished already after the 9th school year. Upon completion of this stage, and depending on the type of school, students receive a school leaving certificate. At this point, the students can decide for themselves whether they attend the upper secondary school or a vocational school. After 2 to 3 years, this penultimate stage of the school system ends, as does the compulsory education. With the successful completion of a vocational school, students enter the workforce, often in the form of a multi-year apprenticeship at a company. The degrees of the Gymnasium and the Realschule, for example, the Fachabitur, the Fachhochschulreife, or the Abitur, also called Hochschulreife, can be considered tickets for higher education. This final stage includes 3 different forms of educational institutions: the university, the Hochschule, and the University of Applied Sciences, or Fachhochschule. To explain their exact differences here would require a much longer video, but in short, the university and Hochschule offer much wider offerings of different degrees than the University of Applied Sciences. However, most students, no matter at which type of university they find themselves, study in a bachelor's or master's program. Loosely speaking, there are no limits to the duration of tertiary education. On average, however, a German student finishes their studies at the age of around 24. Entry requirements. For all prospective students, whether from Germany or abroad, there is still a hurdle on the way to their dream study, the so-called numerus clausus, or NC for short. This is basically the grade point average, or GPA, of all grades from the Abitur. Keep in mind that in Germany, the scale of grades runs from 1.0 to 6.0, with 1.0 being the best a student can receive. For example, to study medicine, you would need a very low NC, which means excellent grades, as there are many more applicants for these studies than there are available seats. On the other hand, there are also courses of study that offer enough places for all interested parties and can therefore be taken without any NC requirements. In fact, 2/3 of all courses in Germany are zulassungsfrei, meaning there are no minimum grade requirements. This applies, for example, to most social and artistic programs. Here, an applicant only needs an Abitur to be considered for enrollment. As you can see, this hurdle to studying is in most cases very low, and everyone who has successfully completed the secondary education stage can study what he or she wants, especially when compared to other countries such as the United States, where standardized tests and extracurricular activities also play a crucial role in admission considerations at most universities. The German entry requirements offer great educational opportunities with relatively easy access. Now you know how to get from kindergarten to university in Germany. But presumably, if you are watching this video from somewhere outside Germany, you did not attend a German kindergarten. Well, that leads us to our next question. Are German universities open to international students? And if so, what opportunities are available? Let's go back a few minutes. For example, the Fachabitur, the Fachhochschulreife, or the Abitur, also called Hochschulreife, can be considered tickets for higher education. In many countries, there is a degree equivalent to the Abitur that is also recognized at German universities and universities of applied sciences. For example, in France, you get your baccalaureate. In the United Kingdom, it is called A-levels, and pupils from the Czech Republic receive their matura. However, in lots of countries, especially outside of Europe, there is no degree that is recognized as an equivalent for entrance qualification for a German university. In these cases, students may be asked to top up their existing certificates with a so-called Studienkolleg. Let's take a look at one such institute and what is expected of students who attend.
What our preparatory college or Studienkolleg offers is a bridge between students who are looking to come to German universities for their higher studies. Now, since the high school degree that they complete in their home country may not be equivalent to the Abitur in Germany, they need to complete a Studienkolleg of 2 semesters, which essentially is a top-up so that they can study in the German universities for their bachelor's. Now here, the language is essential. The language ability, that is, knowing the German language, is a key point. To attend a Studienkolleg, the international students need to first apply for a bachelor's degree program in one of the states in Saxony to receive a conditional admit. Now, what is a conditional admit? It is an admit that you receive with a condition that you need to fulfill the FSB exam and as well as the German language proficiency. How do you receive that? That's from the Studienkolleg. So to apply for a conditional admit, the international students need to do an application through the UniSS portal. From the UniSS portal, the students receive a conditional admit letter for the bachelor's degree that they have applied to. With this conditional admit, you receive an admission in one of the Studienkollegs that are in Germany, for example, ours at TU Dresden. A Studienkolleg program typically is for 2 semesters. Now, what the students learn here is maths, physics, German, history, but what's important is all the subjects are in German language. This is to make sure that you cope up with your bachelor's degree when you start with it, as all the bachelor's degrees will be in German language. Depending on what the student desires to study in their degree programs, they will attend different subjects at the Studienkolleg. Here at TU Dresden, we offer 3 different courses, which are the T course, M course, and W course. So the T course is for all the students who wish to study engineering or physics. M course is for the students who wish to go in the direction of medicine or biology, and W course is for all the students who wish to study business or economics. At the end of the 3 courses, the students need to give an exam which is called FSP, which is a Feststellungsprüfung, that gives you a certificate that says that you have completed the 2 semesters of your Studienkolleg and you're now ready for your bachelor's degree program in the desired university in Germany. After receiving the certificate of FSP that the student has completed their FSP exam, they are now, with this certificate, able to apply for any desired university, public or private, in Germany, which is the ultimate goal.
The term BAföG stands for the typically oversized German word Bundesausbildungsförderungsgesetz, which can be loosely translated as the Federal Education Promotion Act. As the term suggests, it is a promotion in the form of financial state support for students. The BAföG program is primarily intended to enable students who might not have the financial means to attend academic studies or to take on an apprenticeship. It is thus intended to provide equal chances for all citizens, regardless of their family's financial situation. This program supports not only students at universities, but also pupils at technical schools and vocational schools. There are, of course, some restrictions for those applying for BAföG funds. As a rule, the applicant must be under 30 years of age for a bachelor's degree and under 35 for a master's program. In individual cases, this age limit may be relaxed due to an extended illness or an interruption of their studies because they have started a family. Active participation in studies in the form of regular attendance of their lectures is also a basic requirement, as is academic performance. In general, you would need German citizenship to receive BAföG, but foreign students can also receive BAföG if they have a right of residency in Germany independent of their studies. This would be the case, for example, if they grew up in Germany or if their parents or partners live in Germany. The amount of the BAföG funding depends on one's own income and already existing assets. A monthly income of up to 450 euros and assets of less than 8,200 euros are considered credit-free and does not affect the basic amount a student receives. Currently, this basic amount is set at 812 euros, of which 360 is intended for rent and 452 for everyday basic needs. This amount can be reduced if the income and assets of parents and spouses exceed a certain limit, and the state thus assumes that they could financially support the student, regardless if they actually do. And remember, the actual fees to attend university are just a few hundred euros per semester, meaning this financial aid is meant to cover living costs a student may have. For the students, BAföG sounds like free money. But there's a catch. You have to pay it back. Well, some of it at least. University students are required to repay 50% of the funds they receive, though this is on an interest-free basis and only 5 years after completion of their first study. Thus, there should be enough time after university to find employment and earn some money to gradually repay it to the state in small monthly installments. Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? Reality shows that in Germany, only about 500,000 students receive BAföG, which is only 11% of all university students. 2/3 of students in Germany say that they are dependent on a part-time job in order to be able to finance their life as a student. Thanks to the differences in costs of living found throughout Germany, the average BAföG rate of 574 euros per month is clearly not enough in most German university cities. In a city like Dresden, it might be possible to live on BAföG alone since the costs of living are so low. But in Munich or Hamburg, it most certainly would not be enough. In order to better understand the features as well as advantages and disadvantages of taking up studies at a German university, we will compare 3 international academic systems as examples: the German, the American, and the Chinese. One of the first differences prospective students may notice is the expected length of studies. A bachelor's degree, for example, will take about 4 years in the US and China. In contrast, Germany offers the same degree in just 3 years. But how are they able to offer the same degree in a shorter time frame? There are 2 factors at play here. First, the relatively high expectations that German students have already met in their high school degrees means that the university studies can begin with more challenging material and less review. Second, there is a noticeable limitation on credit points that are needed in general knowledge areas. For example, someone who studies engineering at a German university would probably not attend classes about psychology, literature, or history. Instead, they would focus more directly on their specific study goals. This 3-year degree has not always been available in Germany, but has been a change implemented through the so-called Bologna process, an effort over the last several decades to create a similar standard throughout Europe in academic studies. This has made it easier for European students to change schools when, for example, they want to pursue a master's degree after their bachelor's. Another substantial difference when you compare studies in these 3 countries are the financial burdens for the students themselves. Studying at public universities in Germany and China is state-supported and therefore relatively affordable. On average, a student pays no more than $150 to $400 per semester. In Germany, this is called the semester fee. In the US, on the other hand, universities are often private institutions and for this reason, much more expensive for students. A semester fee of $5,000 and more is not uncommon. There are, however, university programs in the US that are supported by the individual states, for example, the California State University System, where students who are residents of the state in question get a reduced tuition fee. But even here, the fees are still much higher than German or Chinese students would expect to cover themselves. Despite these costs, the US has the most international students in the world, with just over 1 million students, and thus more than Germany and China combined, which currently host around 300,000 and 500,000 international students respectively. However, if you look at the percentage of internationals within each system, Germany clearly takes the lead. A full 11% of their students come from outside Germany. This can certainly be attributed to the perceived quality of the studies in Germany, the ease of access European students enjoy, and the attractive tuition costs. Such comparisons are rather easy to make. What might be more challenging to ascertain is the quality of the studies themselves and what is actually happening in the classrooms. While one should be careful when making generalizations of systems with so many independent institutions, There are a few tendencies that can be seen when comparing the different countries. At Chinese universities, frontal teaching is the predominant form of classroom design. The acquisition of knowledge is the main focus, and students often maintain a more formal relationship with their professors. US universities, on the other hand, usually rely on more interactive learning environments in which communication and discussion between students and teachers is promoted. In the US, it is not all that uncommon to call professors by their first name. German universities can be roughly classified in the middle of those two extremes. Frontal teaching and social interaction go hand in hand here, while a formal distance to professors is usually maintained. But don't take it from me. Let's ask a few real students at a German university about their experiences.
Hi, my name is Tadeusz. I am 23 years old and I am currently studying at TU Dresden. I am in my master's degree of applied media research, and I decided to take that path because it was the consecutive masters of my bachelor degree, which I also took here, and it was, well, really fitting for my interests.
So hi, I'm Caterina, I come from Italy and I'm currently studying at TU Dresden. I'm attending the master in art history and I decided to study it because I thought it was another way to learn about the history of mankind and our culture through art.
Hi, my name is Georg, I'm 19 years old and I'm studying Information System Engineering at the Dresden University of Technology. I chose that degree because I've been interested in electronics and information system technology in general for quite a long time during high school.
Why did you decide to study at TU Dresden?
Because it's a really big university. It has over 30,000 students, and this means there is a good possibility to exchange with other people, and there is also a wide range of study fields, from medicine to literature and arts and engineering. And that's really good because one can have a really interdisciplinary study.
TU Dresden is an excellent university. It has a really high reputation. Also, it is known for its high teaching and research standards, which is convenient for me since I am a researcher.
I decided to study at TU Dresden because it has a pretty extensive diploma program, which not a lot of universities in Germany have anymore. The interesting thing about the diploma program is that still has a lot of reputation nationally and internationally, and it allows you a lot of flexibility during your studies.
Could you describe a typical day for you as a student at a German university?
Okay, so I live in a flat with 2 other flatmates, and my first class usually starts at 9:20 a.m. I get there either by bike or by bus. There's lots of good buses for that. And in my free time I like to go to the SLUB, which is the library of the university, and it's really beautiful. And also I am involved in some student associations and groups like TUVI. On the weekend I usually hang out with my friends on the Elbe River because it's a really beautiful spot. And also I like to go hiking with them in the Sächsische Schweiz, which is also amazing. Or just go to some student clubs, there's plenty of them.
Well, I do live quite a bit away from university right now, so I have to take the bus to get there, but it's not really a huge problem because Dresden has a really good infrastructure regarding public transport. So I arrive at roughly 9 a.m. each morning, have 4 or 5 blocks of study, which are about 90 minutes. I go to a Mensa with my friends during breaks and they have quite a few of them which do have pretty nice food, especially compared to high school, I guess. And then when we're done with studies, we have a lot of opportunities to go to the Neustadt, for example, or to go on a walk next to the Elbe. or go biking?
I'm currently writing my master thesis, so I don't attending class right now, and I spend most of the time in the libraries. We have a really big one, the Sloop, but also others, which is really nice to exchange and do not have a really routine. And I really like to meet for lunch in the canteen with my friends or have a coffee and take a break. And otherwise, my free time, especially in the weekend, I really like to visit other city, and for example Berlin or Leipzig or Prague are all really close to Dresden and really easy to reach with the public transport.
A major concern for students around the world is the question of financing their studies. What costs are there for students in Germany?
Well, a really nice thing in Germany is that we don't have study fees, and of course this is a big help for students. So then you have to, of course, think about the rent. I, for example, live in a share flat, and this is quite cheap, I would say. And of course, there is many costs for books or equipment, and that's something you have to think about.
So first of all, there's the small administrative fee, which is up to 300 euros. And this includes the semester ticket, which is the ticket you can use for public transport. It's really cheap. And also some support for the student government. Apart from that, there's rent. I am renting in a shared flat, so it's not too expensive, around 300 euros, usually less, it depends on where you live. And other than that, there's of course food, there's books you might need to buy, internet, all this, Netflix, all this kinds of stuff. And then there's also BAföG, which is from the state, and it is a student loan based on your family's income. The convenience is that you have to only pay back 50%.
What advice would you give to students hoping to study in Germany in the future?
So basically one thing that you really have to bring to the table yourself is that you can motivate yourself and plan all your studies for yourself, because you don't really have anyone that looks over your shoulder anymore. So you really have to kind of push yourself in that regards, which can be quite tough at first, but when you get to know a few people, it really becomes easier, because the more people you know, the more people can help you with that, and then it gets pretty easy over time.
I would say that you don't have to finish your studies on time. It's totally normal for people to take up to 1 or 2 semesters for themselves if they are doing Erasmus or if they have found a really good internship they would like to take.
Well, there is a lot of students that struggle to move to a new city and leave family and friends and go out of their comfort zone. But I would really say that you have to put yourself out and don't have fear about it, because actually the university, it's a really nice place where you can meet a lot of new people. Classmates, of course, are the big start, but it's also easy to meet new people from student association or sport classes or students bar, and actually it's really it gives you really something new, a new perspective, and it's really important and nice.
These experiences are really worthwhile and are only possible if you're a student. And since these experiences are so worthwhile, the TU Dresden also supports you on your path in an internship or Erasmus.
Universities in Germany offer various student organizations in which students can gain practical and interdisciplinary experience in fields they are passionate about. They offer the opportunity to apply theoretical knowledge in practice, as well as being a great chance to socialize on campus with like-minded classmates. Let's speak to representatives from 3 such organizations.
My name is Julia Witzke. I'm studying mechanical engineering with the specialization of automotive engineering. Elfrace is the Formula student team of the Technical University of Dresden, and in the team my role is the team manager, so I'm responsible for the team, for the sponsors, and that everything is ready in time. And every year our team builds a new race car within a period of at least 1 year. We design and manufacture a race car like in the background, and it's full electric and can drive autonomous. Last year was our most successful year. The first event in the Netherlands we overall won. So with the work in the team, you or I can collect some practical experience, because university sometimes gets a bit theoretical and, let's say, boring. And here in our workshop you have the possibility to work on your own, to screw, to melt, to bend and all this stuff. So it's a quite nice practical exercise, and that's quite cool, because in university you sometimes only design and construct the part, but never see it in the real life. The university is one of our biggest financial supporter on the one side, and on the other side we also stay in contact with the institute, especially for the Institute of Automotive Engineering. We meet at least twice a month, and there we talk about our design of the car and why we designed the car, how it is like this. So we also stay in contact, really nice. Our workshop is located in the rooms of the university, so university is at least one of our biggest supporters.
My name is Charlotte, and I'm a second-year student of International Relations here at TU Dresden in Germany. ALPMUN stands for Elbe Model United Nations, and at ALPMUN we organize a conference each year during which we simulate the work of the United Nations. So that means that normal students become delegates for a week, and they work together in committees where they talk about the world's most pressing issues and together adopt resolutions. ALPMUN was founded about 10 years ago by students of international relations from the university, and also we are a club at the university, which means that we benefit from funding or from organizational support. There are 2 main ways in which you can be part of ALPMUN. First of all, I very much encourage you to take part in our conference, because no matter your line of studies, everybody can try what it means to be a diplomat for a couple of days and engage in constructive dialogue. You can sign up to be a delegate at our conference at the end of April. And furthermore, of course, if you're in Dresden for a longer time, we very much encourage you to become part of the organizing team, because whereas we do our best to bring the conference to life, and we do need the support of everybody to make this happen. So usually we spend the whole year, which is the main task of the association, to organize the conference. So if you have any skills in PR and media, or if you want to be part of the secretariat, if you want to take a look at our cooperations, or if you have other ways in which you want to support ALPMUN, we very much encourage you to join our association and help us organize this platform. Well, we have numerous supporters, like the Saxon State Parliament, which you can see behind me, and also numerous other supporters at TU Dresden, and most of all the Center for International Studies. There are structures at TU Dresden that very well support student clubs and associations that deal with students or are run by students from the university.
I'm from ESN TU Dresden. We are a student association which works a lot with international and exchange students. ESN is the abbreviation for Erasmus Student Network, which is the largest student association in all of Europe, and Erasmus is the European exchange program for students. So basically what we are doing is we are supporting international and exchange students and try to include them in everyday life and student life. So our section exists now since more than 20 years, and it was, as far as I know, created by students who came back from the exchange year and missed that feeling, also really wanted to give something back to exchange students who come back to TU Dresden. And the TU is involved mostly by that we are an official student association of the TU Dresden, which means that we get support in some areas. Well, by being a member of ESN, I have the possibility to meet and get to know a lot of people from all over the world, basically, which is amazing because you get to experience other cultures by actually still staying at the same place. And on the other side, by being a more active member, I have a lot of interaction also with the university and also the international office, which is actually quite interesting to see, to get to know how things work from the other perspective.
Graduation from university is a double-edged sword for students. First, it means celebrating the successful completion of studies the students have spent years working towards. However, it also brings with it the anxiety of leaving the comfort of campus and having to enter the so-called real world. Students in Dresden have various paths to choose from when looking to start their careers in Germany. To make this transition easier, especially for international students who may be at a disadvantage due to the lack of already having professional contacts in the area, there are networks that bring graduates into contact with suitable companies. The INTAP network is one of them.
Hi, my name is Swati. I come from India. I have been in Germany from the last 6 years and have been associated with INTAP network from the last 3 years. So INTAP network works with the vision of connecting the global talents in Saxony with the local industry. And my job is to increase the network of the international talents as well as bring new companies into our network so that we can connect them with our high potential talents and help them stay in Saxony for work opportunities.
Can international students find work in Germany after completing their studies here?
Of course, they can find work in Germany after finishing their studies here. In fact, Germany has a plethora of opportunities to offer. And with the declining age population, it is even predicted that by 2040, the working skill force will be reduced by 3.1 million. So it is pretty clear that there are and will be a lot of opportunities to be availed by the international talents after they finish their studies.
What kind of working conditions can workers in Germany expect?
Well, in Germany, the working hours is regulated by law. So the maximum number of hours is 8 hours per day that you could work, totaling up to 40 hours per week. This can go up to 10 hours provided you do not exceed the total working hours of 8 hours per day within the next 6 months. Working on public holidays and on Sunday is completely banned in Germany. And you are entitled to at least 26 paid holiday leave per calendar. And this can change, this can go up to 26 to 28 paid holiday leave depending upon the company.
What skills are in high demand in Germany, or specifically Dresden, at the moment?
It depends upon what job the talent is looking for. If the talent is looking for a job in cloud computing, then skills like cloud security, DevOps, AI and machine learning, database skills. These are the highly demanded skills in this particular field. If the talent is looking for a job in software development, which is a very popular field in Saxony as well as in entire Germany, then a good command over programming, markup and scripting languages is really preferable and desirable. So for example, if the talent knows C++, C#, JavaScript, Python, HTML, SQL, then he or she has a very bright chances of getting a full-time job after finishing his or her studies. And if it is semiconductor engineering, then skills like GMP, data analysis, MATLAB, Python, these are some of the highly demanded skills in semiconductor engineering for semiconductor engineering.
What are the most important industries in the region?
The most common industries, the most popular industries in Saxony or in Dresden are semiconductor for sure, which is very popular in Saxony. That's the reason we call it Silicon Saxony as well. Then mechanical engineering, automotive engineering, and of course software development. So these are the most common and popular industries in Saxony.
Does a German university degree prepare students well for the real world?
Well, it does to an extent, but with the constant changes with what the industry demand, it is also hard for the university to stay abreast with these changes. And this is normally prevalent in the technology-focused courses such as computer science or organic and molecular electronics, or even courses in biotechnology, that these courses cannot keep a pace, with the changes with the new needs and requirements that the industry demands. And that is the reason there has been a strong influx of online courses which are trying to fill this gap that the university is unable to provide. And in fact, this is also what we strongly suggest to our talents who come to us for various job opportunities. In order to connect with the local industry, we tell them to always upgrade themselves by doing such online courses, so that when they finish their studies and go out to look for a full-time job, then they have the skills. Apart from the theoretical knowledge, they also have the practical skills which the industry may demand and which may be required for them to get a job successfully.
There is little question that the German education system has provided generations of students access to the skills and know-how needed to succeed. Free, quality education available to everyone means that everyone has the chance to fulfill their academic and professional goals. Flexible options built into the system allow those who require a university education to follow those dreams, while those with more vocational aspirations are given the tools they need to truly master their art. In the end, we all succeed when each individual is given the opportunity to better themselves.